Journaling has been getting more and more popular over the last few years. A lot of people, bloggers, influencers are talking about journaling on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, wherever. There's articles published about it. It's definitely getting more and more attention. Even I talked about journaling in some of my YouTube videos. So I just wanted to share some tips and advice if you're a complete beginner, not sure of where to start, you're not sure where journaling is, or maybe you don't see any benefits of it. First things first, for journaling, you need a nice notebook. You can use the one that you already had, or you can purchase a new one, but you don't have to go crazy. You don't have to buy any special notebooks like 5-minute journal or anything like that, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. Second, you just need a pen. Get a nice pen, get the pen that you're going to be using strictly for journaling. Essentially, the journaling will become a part of your day, a little ritual that you can do every day, every other day, or a couple times a week. There's 3 things essentially that you need for journaling. You need a notebook, so essentially a journal. You need a nice pen, and the third is the timing when you will be journaling. In terms of developing a habit for journaling, I would suggest doing your journaling session right after a certain task or a thing that you do every day. So it could be either brushing your teeth in the evening, or it could be after you have dinner, or it could be after you had shower, or it could be in the morning after you had your breakfast and you're still enjoying your coffee, anything like that. But if there's going to be like a trigger event and you're going to associate that trigger event with the journaling session, it's going to be easier for you to implement that habit and implement that into your lifestyle. You need to implement a journaling session in a way that will work for you and will work for your routine. There is no right or wrong time for doing that. You can even do it on your lunch break if you want to, as long as you stay consistent with it, and that's all that matters. And I just want to make a note here about consistency. So consistency does not mean perfection. Consistency does not mean that you have to do journaling or anything. In order to stay consistent, you just have to do something and not break that cycle type thing. So if you're going to start journaling, just make sure that you journal at least once a week. That means staying consistent, because if you're going to aim for perfection, being like, oh, you know, I'm going to start journaling, and if I miss a day, well, what's the point? I missed a day, now I have to start over. No, you don't need to start over. If you're going to keep doing and keep journaling, that's what being consistent essentially means. So consistency means that you're not striving for perfection. You're just consistently doing that, no matter if you fell off track and you didn't journal for weeks. You're going to try to get back into that routine. That's all that matters. So the other thing about journaling is start small. You do not to journal hours on end. Honestly, even if you start with 5-10 minutes of journaling sessions every day, that is still what's important, is that you started, you left your comfort zone, you're trying something that's different, maybe uncomfortable, but you're doing that. So just start small. I assume that you're a beginner in terms of journaling, and since you're the beginner, for now, we would not need any journal prompts. Just start writing things down in your journal. Essentially imagine that your journal is your best friend or a person that you trust, and just start writing things about your day, or just start writing things that you want to vent about it, or just start writing things that you want to reflect about, or just start writing things that are bothering you, or maybe things that you don't understand. Just literally start writing things down. Start writing things that are deep inside of you, and don't worry if you make mistakes. Don't worry if it doesn't make sense what you're writing. As long as you're writing and doing that, that's essentially what that matters. Imagine that you're talking to a best friend, and what would you tell them if there is no judgment, if there is no fear? Just have that mindset and start writing. Actually, with the journaling, there is no judgment. There is just pure and unconditional love and acceptance. Now let's talk about the journaling prompts and types of journals. So once you have implemented the habit of journaling, then you can start journaling prompts, or you can start and get yourself a nice journal. So I wouldn't recommend getting like a 5-minute journal or whatever right now if you cannot solidify the habit of journaling, because then the journal is just going to go to waste and it's just going to collect dust. Let that be a little reward for yourself. So if you're going to be consistently journaling, say for a month or 2 months, then get yourself a nice journal that you want, like, you know, like the viral 5-minute journals or anything like that. Now let's talk a little bit about the journal prompts and if you actually need them. So if you're a complete beginner, I would suggest to actually start writing things just, you know, from within, whatever's coming, whatever you have inside of you, whatever's going on in your head, whatever's going on in your heart, you know, whatever's going on in your soul. Just start writing those things down, because it will be easier for you to journal when you have a prompt present. Because if you can't really write anything down, you know, without a prompt, it could be still hard for you to write anything with the prompt, and that can get really frustrating and you might give up, and we don't really want that. Regarding the journaling prompts, there is a lot of information that you can find on Pinterest, for example. There is a lot of information you can find on Google. You can literally just type any aspect of your life that is bothering you and just put journaling prompts right next to it, and you will find a lot of useful information. So here's just some example that I found on Pinterest. In reality, the journaling prompts will be tailored for you, will be tailored for your needs. They're uniquely yours. Every experience will be completely different. So if you are stuck, you have an issue with journaling, I'm sure there's like a journaling prompt for that, you know, like what is stopping you from starting the journaling session, and let that be your first, you know, journal entry if you are still hesitant about the journaling. If you're gonna answer that question, why are you hesitant about the journaling, or what's preventing you from starting this journaling journey, you know, the end result might shock you in terms of what is actually bothering. It could be something like not even related to the journaling. It could be something that, you know, when you were at school, maybe you were really bad at writing essays. So maybe you are scared that, you know, there's going to be like a teacher who's going to give you a bad mark. But I mean, there's no teachers. Nobody will give you a mark. Just the fact that you did write something in your journal, that's what matters. Some benefits of journaling. So the things that they could help with, they can help with your anxiety, that can help you if you're stressed, they can help you see the situation from a different angle. I can keep going and going, but really the journaling is a very good tool if you are stressed out, or if you just need to talk to somebody, but unfortunately there is nobody available to talk to you. You can utilize journaling as the tool to vent. For example, if you're seeing a therapist, you can discuss anything that you wrote in your journal down the road. Or maybe if you're unable to see a therapist for any reason, you can actually use the journal as the tool to reflect on the situation, maybe get a different perspective or anything like that. A certain event happened in my life and I was like, oh my God, how I'm gonna deal with that? And you know what? I wrote things down in my journal. A lot of it made sense. I got kind of like a few aha moments to be like, oh, you know, that makes sense, and that makes sense why I reacted that way, why I wasn't sure how to deal with that. But now, you know, the time has passed. I wrote it in my journal and I realized, you know, what kind of tools I can utilize to deal with that issue or whatever. For example, like one of them was, get a little bit personal here, but one of them was like a trigger event that I found out that my ex and we broke up only like half a year ago, and we were in a pretty serious relationship. We were engaged. We were together for over 4 years, and I actually found out that he's already seen somebody, and that triggered a lot of emotions for sure. And you know, just journaling on it helped me a lot to reflect on the situation, kind of forgive him, forgive myself, and just to move on and stuff. So when I talked about it in therapy, I had a different perspective on it. I was actually able to talk without crying as much, and I feel like I didn't waste a very valuable therapy session to, you know, like talk about something else opposed to just talking about that situation that triggered me. So for example, for me, I have currently 2 journals. So this one, it's called Recharge, a day and night reflection journal. So my therapist actually recommended it to me. So it's kind of like a 5-minute journal, but not really. So it has like a date on it. You write goals for the date. You do to-dos that can wait. You can write I'm excited about, I'm stressed about, but it's really nice. The only thing is, unfortunately, I don't have a lot of time in the morning to actually write in this journal because of my super early morning routine. But when I did have a 9-to-5 job, I would write in it like almost every day. I do find, at least for me personally, just having like a regular notebook and writing things down in it works so much better for me than something that's already like predetermined on what I need to write. I also use journaling for a couple books that I'm reading. I talk about it in my video. and I talk about it a lot, and I'm gonna link that video in my description if you guys want to go and check it out. I journal in it right before bed, and sometimes it takes me 10 minutes, sometimes it takes me half an hour, sometimes I'll do it during the day, basically whenever I feel like or whenever I have time. When I consistently started journaling, I noticed that I felt so much happier. I feel like I wasn't stressed as much. I feel like I wasn't questioning every decision I made. Certain events that could have triggered me weren't triggering me as much. I did notice a huge difference in me, in how I felt, in how I thought, in like my thought process when I was journaling consistency, opposed to now when I journal only a couple times a week. So I am trying to get back into the habit of journaling every day, but if I can't do it every day, I'm not gonna get upset with myself or think that I'm failing. As long as I'm gonna stay consistent and keep doing it, that's all that matters. And that's what I'm wishing you guys, is just stay consistent, try it out. Trust me, you won't regret it, and good luck with your journaling journey.